Welcome back to the School of Shabs. I'm so pleased to be back. In today's video, I want to introduce you to a beautiful book, Outlanders. Outlanders is a book which brings together blood, sweat and tears from Black and ethnic minorities and our lived experience. The lived experience of invisibility, unbearable loss and erasure, alongside gratitude, love and hope. This is a book for social workers, social work students, but also for those working in social work academia. Through my video today, I want to introduce you to snippets in this book. I want to take you on a ride. I also want to show my gratitude to the phenomenal editors of this book, that is Siobhan McLean and the ever-inspiring Wayne Reed. I dedicate today's School of Shabs video to these two phenomenal people.
I arrived at work one morning at my university and I was speaking on my phone outside the building where my office was located. It was around 9 a.m. and as I was on the phone, a white man comes out and interrupts me and says, "You're late." I looked up at him momentarily and carried on speaking, thinking he probably was not talking to me. He leaves, then returns a second time, shouting, "I will not tell you again. You're late. And if you continue on your phone, you won't be allowed to take the exam." I came off the phone briefly and asked, "What exam?" At which point he calmed down slightly and said, "The midwifery resit exam." With pain in my soul, I ended my call and said, "Why do you think I am coming for an exam? I am a senior lecturer in social work and my office is in this building."
Connecting to customs far and near, knowing my path won't be clear, made to feel like a foreigner here, the immigrant's child.
My grandparents originate from Jamaica and they moved to England in the 1950s. I'm second generation Black British. I come from a working class background and I grew up in two predominantly white British council estates in Sheffield. I'm proud of the principles instilled from my upbringing.
Dressing in colours of the land, spicing the food at hand, knowing only I can, the immigrant's child.
Events in 2020 gave me the push I needed to start living out some of my dreams. Through my channel, I want to represent. I want people like me to feel whatever their talent, they can achieve their dreams. Through my videos, I want to share diverse voices, showcasing their talent and contributions, as well as my own. I hope that by using such a large social media platform, I am accessible and I can offer some of my practice wisdom freely. I hope that people will read this and then see me. No, it was not easy, but take courage in attempting to do the things they want to do and be who they want to be. I found my brave, and I hope you will too.
Valuing opportunity in sight, believing for all that's right, never giving up the fight, the immigrant's child.
Was it any different from my dad migrating from the Punjab? We turned back to the 50s and 60s and those narrow-minded concepts of integration and assimilation are at the fore. With my dad living in rented houses with a dozen other Indians and working in cotton mills and drinking at weekends and cooking dal. Was he any happier? Was he adapting to an English way, acculturalization, assimilation, and seeing his own culture disappear? No. In those days, he firmly believed in principles of segregation and separation. He was Indian through and through, not English, an Indian, with a British passport, a Punjabi, a Jat Sikh, a worker, a husband, a father.
Embracing wisdom in old, holding family as gold, fulfilling duty as told, the immigrant's child.
Could you give us some insight on how you were able to find your brave as a woman of colour?
To be honest with you, it was the year 2020, and I actually refer to it as a period of wintering, and I'm a huge fan of the writings of Maria Popova and her journal Brain Pickings, and I came across the term wintering from her writings she shares, and I feel it's really apt and a really good metaphor to describe my journey to finding my brave. So wintering is described as a wisdom which emerges from a period of sadness, and 2020 felt quite sad. And what is said about wintering is that since childhood, we're kind of taught to ignore sadness and pretend it's not there. And then as adults, we often have to learn to hear the clarity of its call, and that's wintering. It's the kind of the courage to stare down some of the worst parts of our experiences and commit to healing them the best we can. So wintering for me in 2020 became a moment of intuition, and I felt I really experienced this, and what connected me to this was three things, and I mentioned this in my contributions to finding my brave. And the first one was my reflective journals that I've written since I was a social work student. The second was the pandemic, and the third was the murder of George Floyd. And these three things really, really connected for me. And I started, as you said, to think about belonging in space. I really started to see things and think about what spaces were people from Black and ethnic minorities allowed to occupy. I thought about myself. Why had it taken me so long to be in some of the places I wanted to be in? And I also thought about all the people who enabled and enhanced my visibility. I mean, I see them. I see those allies. I really do. So, Diane, in my story, I share some of my experience, which revealed themselves in this period of wintering. And I think being surrounded by the theme of breath, it really moved me to think about how I wanted to utilize my breath whilst I still had it. And at that moment, I made that decision. The moment I made that decision, Diane, unexpected opportunities came my way. I became a member of Wayne Reed's Black and Ethnic Minority Professional Symposium, an amazing group. Siobhan and the Student Connect team, yourself, invited me to share my supervision model, the 6 R's for supervision. And these moments of encouragement, which I hadn't really had before, further lifted me and really moved me towards finally launching my educational YouTube channel, The School of Shabs, a dream I'd kind of silenced for years. So I think I remember reading it in the book, someone used the word woke, and I thought, yes. So 2020 feels like the year I woke, really, just recognizing what I had been doing. For example, sometimes shrinking myself, and at other times working twice as hard to be noticed. And I think that really gave me the push to do the opposite, to represent, to amplify not only my voice, but the voice of people of colour who are underrepresented and in the spaces that actually belong to everyone. So Diane, that's kind of a little bit of a journey into me finding my brave.
This is something that I wanted to do a couple of years ago, and if you've already got the book, you'll read in the beginning about how it came to be. And I had a vision for the book, a bit of an idea, but I never thought that it would come out in the way that it's come out. And it's been described by so many people as a beautiful book. And I honestly think that's what it is. In so many ways, this is a beautiful book in social work. I think it's one of those books that if you're a student, it's one of those books you could pick up for every single essay you're doing and find a quotation in there, because there's something about everything in social work in this book. It's very contemporary. I think I saw somebody the other day describe this as a now book, and it really is a here and now book. For me, this book gives us the past, the present, and the future of social work.
So I want to leave you with some ideas about how you might use this book through supervision, how you might use it to start or continue the conversations about race, racism and anti-racism. So one of the first things you might do is you might ask your supervisee to watch this video, particularly the parts where some of us authors read out our extracts intertwined through the poem. And then you might use that to talk about anti-racist practice. What does anti-racist practice mean? What does it look like? What should it look like? Another thing that you could do is you could ask your supervisee to read one of the poems, the essays, the reflections, and you obviously read it too. And then you bring that to supervision and have a real reflective discussion about it. One of the other things I was thinking and reflecting on is this book gives you such deep insights into people's lived experience and pain. And I think it really can help you bring the people we work alongside into the room and think about their lived experience, their identities, their race, and their viewpoints. And finally, what a fabulous gift as placements come to an end for a practice educator, or if you're a practice educator and you give your student a gift, for a student. So those are some of the ideas, and I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I look forward to seeing you all again next month. I'll be back, and in the meantime, please continue to watch, subscribe and like my videos. Bye bye.